Greetings, family. Welcome to episode 1 of Irvington Unbound. I'm Jay, your host and head of the Sheridan Street Block Association. Prayers are in the air that you and your family are having an incredible week, and good fortune is forever in your favor. Now let's talk some news. In block news, thanks to Dr. Hudley and the mayor, the SSBA presents, hopefully the first of many, Block Beautification Bash. From August 5th to the 8th, there will be a dumpster on our block for public use, and we encourage everyone to take the opportunity to trim some bulk. The flyers will be out next week. At the council meeting, there were the usual gripes about dumping and cleanliness, but tons of praise was being heaped upon the administration, specifically the DPW, because as you witnessed, they've earned it. We can't complain after the tree extraction and trimming, which was handled beautifully. We understand that all parties involved are receiving handsome paychecks, but sometimes a good job can mean more than money. A gentleman broached the topic of a lack of minority presence in the construction work being done around town. In regards to the sidewalk project, that's being paid for by the county, which is finally pumping money into our town. Gentrification! Due to the county executive's relationship with the mayor. With Mr. DiVincenzo fitting the bill, the township has no control over which contractors submitted the lowest bid. Ms. McDaniels is back with a vengeance, ready to sue the township, and because it's litigation and the association membership has showed no interest in the subjects in question, we remain neutral. But as a J-note, Ms. McDaniels provides a level of entertainment that makes these council meetings worthwhile. And it's not necessarily her, it's the reactions on the council's and directors' faces that make it popcorn worthy. This is why we need cameras recording these meetings. If you've ever seen the show The Office, the reactions on Jim's face when Dwight speaks is the same comedy mind that Ms. McDaniel's inquiries harness. I know it's not so funny to the mayor and council, and I reiterate that our organization takes no stance. I just personally find it to be amusing. I know, I'm weird. There aren't any new local events that were announced, but here's a recap of what's on deck. On July 28th and August 18th, we have Jazz in the Square. It'll be down at City Hall, and it runs from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. On August 2nd, there's National Night Out, and that'll be down at the Square as well. On August 13th, there's going to be Unity Day at Orange Park, and Unity Day always reminds me of Spider-Man the movie, where Macy Gray was singing a song and everything, and that segues beautifully into Movie in the Park. That's going to be taking place on September 17th. We don't know what movie they're going to be playing, but it's in Irvington Park. We'll have more details later. In state news, the mayor held a press conference on Wednesday on the governor's tantrum on the gas tax and how it affects work being done around town. Outside the county-funded sidewalk initiative, the construction around our township is at a standstill. David Sampson, a key figure in the Bridgegate investigation, pled guilty to bribery this week after muscling American Airlines to make flights specifically for him. And another powerful person ensnared in this mess is Jamie Foxx. No, not Django. He's a former state cabinet official. All of this stems from investigations into the Port Authority, which has been the center of endless controversy during Christie's tenure as governor. And that's a great segue to national news. It sounds like Christie won't be Trump's VP. We want to be happy about it, but it only it only means, see, I'm going a little off script. It only means we're stuck with this guy and his childish antics until 2018. You know it's bad when you kind of want Trump to win with him as VP so we can get his governorship over with as soon as possible. Apparently, Mike Pence, Indiana's governor, will be Trump's running mate. It's the same Mike Pence that signed the Religious Freedom Restoration Act last year, which would have allowed widespread discrimination against the LGBT community. He's a real progressive. Bernie is now in Hillary's camp. I would never say he sold out the progressive movement. He played the game as a Democrat, and where he put up an inspiring fight, the rise of a media monster megalomaniac like Trump and the clear disadvantage he had in delegates before he even announced his candidacy, he gaining a few policy positions, such as the $15 minimum wage and ending the death penalty, bowing out was his only logical play. Internationally, Thursday, in a place called Nice, France, over 70 people were killed by an asshole driving a truck with many more injured. The same anger, pain, frustration felt for the loss of our brothers and sisters here are felt there. because no one should ever be made to meet such a sudden and violent end, and no family should have components ripped from this earth. Senseless violence is just that, senseless. As an organization, we are diligently working to make Sheridan Street live up to the hype of the best block in the world. It doesn't matter if anyone else believes it, we know it. And we also know that we can't accomplish anything without your continued support. Thank you, and have a beautiful weekend. The Sheridan Street Block Association. Still here? This is Jay's Corner. The thoughts expressed here are my own and in no way reflect those of my organization. A conversation with the mayor. I can't wait to get these right so I can, have the sound effects and everything like that on deck. So, if you know me, you know my stance on the drug war. It's dumb. We're dumb for buying into it. And as long as these laws remain intact, our people remain at the mercy of the system. Prohibition has never worked. It doesn't stop drug use or abuse. Addiction is an abstract concept because you can literally be addicted to anything from food to sex. If we're honest with ourselves, we can admit that the drug war was waged on us by us. Last year, I approached our council and mayor about a simple resolution asking the state to reconsider its stance on marijuana and got absolutely nowhere. Council President Frederick gave the weak sauce, "What about the children?" argument. Let me kill that. I was in those classrooms when Mr. Andrews and other police came in talking about the DARE program and Say No to Drugs. Reverse psychology works wonders with kids. When you make it seem like everybody is doing it in a culture that has a natural distrust of police, and only people that seem to live lavishly either sell drugs or religion, it's a recipe for exactly what has happened. Councilman Lyons laughed at the notion most recently, but initially he stated he wouldn't do anything without the state's blessing. And then Mayor Voss sat me down in front of a nice town employee that took everything I had to say in one ear and shook it out the other. I didn't even bother with the rest. It was evident that what I looked to accomplish was nothing more than a punchline to them, so I buckled down to plan accordingly, and it landed on the back burner until last week. And the deaths of Alton, Philando, and endless names, both known and unknown, here and there. Which leads us to Tuesday's conversation with the mayor. Sometime between him asking what's to be done with drug dealers in prison, and I think free if they're nonviolent, personal responsibility, plenty of people will turn to crime when jobs don't pay a living wage and are scarce. And him telling me that I should take it to the federal level when I can't even get them to listen to me, it hit me like a ton of bricks. It's institutional racism. And I'm going to the pillars of that institution to change something they don't see a problem with because it's not in their best interest to see that problem. Though I beg to differ because such racism affects them too. I went looking for an answer as to how many signers I would need before the township took a look at passing a resolution, and I'm still waiting on that answer. This isn't to say that our elected officials are bad people. Mayor Voss and his entire administration have been pleasant in their apathy and its politics, so I expect to get a smile and a hope that I forget about it, because that's what would be most convenient for all parties involved, myself included. But it's that eagerness to forget that has us in the position we're in now. Does changing our horrendous drug laws bring back those laws? No. Nothing will. Will changing the draconian drug laws bring about the economic development and living wages that communities need to thrive? No. Well, maybe if the industry goes mainstream, that create a fair amount of jobs, but I digress. The drug war was waged against us, our families, our communities, and our futures. It's long past time that we face this reality and adjust accordingly. It won't be the end of what plagues our people, but it's a much more solid beginning than hashtags, boycotts, or marches. Thank you for your time.